So today we're going to go into section 6.4 and we're going to be talking about point slope form with regards to equations of lines. Okay? Now, what I want to talk about first is I want you to realize that if we put up any kind of equation here, y minus 2 equals x plus 4, this is going to be a line. And when let's come up with a line is made up of an infinite number of points, super close to each other, and in order for a point to be on the line, it has to make the equation work. So let's pick a value for x, anything. Let's just say 1. Okay, that means 1 plus 4 would be 5. Okay, so what number minus 2 would be 5? That would be 7. You see 7 minus 2 is 5, 1 plus 4 is 5. This would be a point that's on the line. Here, let's pick something else. Let's pick negative 2 for x. Negative 2 plus 4 is positive 2. Okay, what number minus 2 would be positive 2? That would be 4. Okay, so hopefully you get the idea here. 0 plus 4 is 4. What number minus 2 is 4? That would be 6. So there's an infinite number of points that are on the line, and any point that's on the line has to satisfy the equation of the line, and that means that each side of the equation is equal to each other. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to work with point slope form. Point slope form looks like this: y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Now, I know this might not make much sense right now, but give me a moment. And this is where x sub 1 comma y sub 1 is a known point. All right. It's a known point. Now, where did this come from? Let me show you where it came from. Slope, remember, was y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And if I just cross multiply this, remember, what's underneath this? Underneath the m is an invisible 1. 1 times this, and then m times that. God, my pen isn't working too well here. And that looks real similar to this thing in the box over here, right? And we just changed out y sub 2 with just plain old y and x sub 2 with plain old x. Point slope form is just the slope formula cross multiplied. Okay. Now, let me give you again, I know you might be confused. Let me just give you an example of a problem where I'm going to give you, let's say, I'm going to give you a point slope form equation. You have to graph it. So graph this equation. This is classic. Okay. So in order for you to graph something, you need to have a point and a slope. Okay. The first thing is we got to determine a point that's on this line. Now, a point that's on the line, the easiest point to determine is what's going to make each side of the equation 0. In other words, what value of x here will make these parentheses come out to 0? And I hope that you say negative 1, because negative 1 plus 1 is 0. And what value of y would make this come out to 0? It would be 2, of course. 2 minus 2 is 0. So that's the obvious point that's on the line. We go to negative 1 comma 2 right there. Okay. Now, remember, this is the slope. You see, earlier, the slope is the number in front of the parentheses. And that slope of 3, that means up 3, whoops. That means up 3 over 1, remember. Having some trouble here, scrolling too much. So up 3 over 1, that would mean we go up 1, 2, 3 over 1. And there is our line. Okay? That's all it's to it. Now, if I asked you to come up with more points than just one, we could graph it and get more points that way, but you can also just move with the slope. Watch this. So remember, the slope means up 3 over 1. So if I go up 3 from here, that means change the y. Go up 3, go over 1, you see? Up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. See, we could do this infinite number of times. We could go backwards from the original thing, right? Instead of going up 3, let's go down 3. That 2 would become -1, but then we'd have to go left 1. So there's an easy way to come up with an infinite number of points. Find the original point, the easy one, and then from that move with the slope. But when we graph a line, all we need is just one point. That's it. Okay? Whoops. And that's just kind of the gist of it, right? So here's another one. Graph y plus 3 equals -1/2 x minus 1. Okay, let's figure out the point first. What's going to make both sides equal to 0? Well, x would have to be 1 because 1 minus 1 is 0. Y would have to be -3. Go to that point, and the slope means down. Let's extend our graph. That means what? Down 1 over 2. Or I could go backwards. I could go up 1, left 2. Okay, it doesn't matter. Whoops, a little bit sloppy there, but here, let me fix that. I don't like it. Don't like it one bit. But yeah, we would just connect this. That's a little bit better. And there is the graph of that line. Okay? Find the point that makes both sides equal to 0, and then from that point, you need to move with the slope. Okay, now let's go in the other direction. Okay, let's go ahead and do give equation of the line. All right. Through point, again, I'm just making this up, -2, 10 with slope of 6. So remember, the formula had minus if you go and look. So this is kind of your template. Okay, so this is going to be y. You see, what's in black is a template, and then this is going to be y minus 10. You put the slope in here, and then x, it would be minus a -2, so that would be x plus 2. And there's the equation of your line. And the way you can check it, remember, if you take this -2 and stick it in here, that'll make this come out to 0. If you take this 10 and stick it in there, that'll make that side come out to 0. So, you know that it's legit. Okay. Let's just do one more like that, and then we'll probably call it there for this video. Give equation of line through point. Oh, let's go with 7, 0 with a slope of -3 over 2. Well, we would write, again, here I'm setting up my template. And now I'm going to fill in the blanks. So there'll be y minus 0. The slope goes here, and this would be x minus 7. But typically, we don't leave an answer like that because of this y. I mean, what's y minus 0? Y minus 0, of course, is just y. So typically, we would kind of adjust our answer to have it look like that. All right. That's a short introductory lesson on point slope form. I'll do a second lesson that kind of continues with this a little bit, and then we'll talk about vertical and horizontal lines as well. Okay.